Time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical, women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
Glad to have you on Core Digest. Extra back now. We're back to our discussion segment, and we'll be taking a look at ahead of February elections and some of the issues in the past and at present. We're going to be taking a whole lot of issues today. How prepared is INEC and some of the campaigns going around now around the country from the PDP and from the opposition party or Progressive Congress. A whole lot of them have strategies, and Nigerians have raised issues or concern that why should there be attack on personalities and not issue-based campaign. These are some of the issues we're going to be taking a look at today ahead of the February election. And joining us in the studio to talk about these is our regular analyst and guest in the house, Victor Ohai. Thank you for joining us, a public affairs analyst.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us again, I must say. Well, how will you assess the level of preparations of INEC so far ahead of the coming polls?
Well, in assessing the level of preparation, I'd say INEC has had time to, if you like, do some sort of dress rehearsals with the Anambra, Ekiti, and is it
Osun State.
Osun elections, okay. Exactly. And so I think, in a manner of speaking, in terms of the process and all that, they've had time to be able to do the preparations, but there is an area of concern as well about the yet to be collected, PCVs.
And the PVCs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
PVCs, yes.
Yeah. And
in some cases, some areas where they had issues and they had to re-register and their PVCs are not ready. But I've been to one of the local government areas to see the process for myself. And believe me, the problem we have, while I agree that, yes, INEC ought to do more, the issue is really simple. Are people either too lazy, or they're not committed enough, or we specialize in many cases in last-minute approaches, okay. Approach to things like this? Because there are lots and lots of PVCs. They have not made it impossible. If you had a temporary voter's card and you cannot find it, as long as you know you are registered, go along with passport photograph. Very important, and they've not been saying that, but it was the experience I had. Also ensure that you know the number of your polling center.
Okay.
It helps. The way to know it is to find a neighbor who has already collected his own from the same center that you registered. Copy the number. Go to their office. And if you're patient, if you go there late, you will leave late. It's normal. But if you go there early enough, you finish quickly and then go back to your business. If you truly want to either retain your candidate or change your candidate, no sacrifice is too much. We keep blaming INEC. They have done their bit and they have said, come to the office and collect. There was a period when the thing was there for everybody to go. Not everybody went. So they took this thing back. It's risky for them to be standing in a polling center every day. You just had the case of, is it one in Anambra or what was it? Some people were dismissed for stealing PVCs. So that just tells you that, you know, it's such a sensitive, if you like, identity, apart from, you know, material, you know. It contains too much data, and it can be used or misused.
So, so what you're saying is that the people also have to share in the blame.
Responsibility, yes.
Okay.
We have a duty.
Okay.
Yeah,
But do you think INEC, it would have been don't you think it would have been proper as well for INEC to organize in a voter registration education now, voter education, let me put it that way,
Isn't that what
to
we're doing?
sensitize
They do
people.
this. And the media houses do
Or maybe
it
do
as
you
well.
think they are not doing enough?
I don't want to say they're not doing enough, because even the media is helping.
Okay.
You know, and that is enough. We're talking about it now. I just gave out information. Some people have not received it after hearing this information. We'll still not do it. And they'll be shouting.
Okay.
Okay? So what do you say about a situation like that? I mean, so I don't think, you know, we just like the blame game. Some people just find an easy way of saying they blame. INEC is supposed to be an independent body, and I think it is. But next time, the government, or they want to rig, they want to, you know, it's just lame excuses, and I don't think it's fair. Let's do your part. If you go there and you can't get it, then you have a legitimate reason to complain. But most of the people complaining are not doing what they're supposed to do.
But there are so many concerns have been raised, issues have been raised, fears of insecurities, fears of rigging. Do you think we can really surmount some of these fears and challenges as we approach this election come February?
Some of the fears are not unfounded, because I see a lot of intimidation. If you go to social media, the level of attacks you see there, when one person brings up something about his candidate, you will see the other people from the opposing side attacking viciously. I mean, it's like if the person were there physically, you can always be sure that the person may even be, maybe, what's the word now? Not just mobbed, or maybe even, you know, killed. It's that, and I've seen people who hold a view, but are too afraid to voice it, because apparently the area where they are seems to be predominantly peopled or populated by a particular political party. So, and there's this palpable fear, generally. I know, for instance, some people in the north are scared. Like some of the Igbo people, they are scared that, you know, the elections, you know, if they don't have protection, they don't feel safe.
Because in the papers this morning was there that there's some non-Indigen who are resident in the north really beginning to flee.
Unless the government can assure them and provide security for them. And it's important to do that. You know, so I cannot say they are not unfounded, because the level of support now is so fanatical, and the fanaticism is also borders of viciousness. The way they go about it is very vicious. However, it's not to say that it will be a violent election. I mean, if you're in an area, you're not voting in an area outside your area. If anyone attacks you, you would know who they are. There will be witnesses, you know. So most people would have registered in the area where they are, you know. The thing is, go there, don't engage in unnecessary talk, do what you have to do. Vote is a secret vote. Vote, stand and watch. And if you think they're doing things that are not right, if you have your camera phone, record it, you know, but don't confront them, you know, but record it.
But do you think recording such wouldn't be going contrary to, you know, will I say the secrecy of the vote in terms of...
No. If you
will it not be contrary to Electoral Act?
I mean. No. If you have voted, and you see maybe somebody coming and there is, you know, printing somebody out there, or they are beginning to do things that are untoward, or intimidating voters, or inducing electoral officials, and things like that, record it. And there's no law against that. You understand what I'm saying? Just do that quietly, but don't confront them.
Victor, there are also a lot of concerns, really, within the polity right now. The use of thuggery and all of that. Aside the fact that the government is also putting place security to ensure a free and violent-free elections, don't you think, where does the political parties coming at this point? Because a lot of them should do more educating their supporters and all of. Don't you think so? I think that's one of the key area that a lot of people are really concerned. They might be afraid to go out to vote in case of
frankly,
fraud.
the only person who has spoken responsibly in this regard is the president, who has repeatedly said that the blood of Nigeria, no blood is worth his ambition or the ambition of any other politician. He has said so repeatedly. Those around him have heard him say so. So they cannot be said to be acting on his behalf. But my worry is that down the line, right up to, although we're not going for local government election now, but right down to local government, if I may say so, you find these people employ thugs. They say to protect themselves, but they also don't mind the thugs doing dirty work for them. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that there should be a pact. You know, there is something has been signed at the very top. But I also feel that it should become a mantra, something that they should be repeating openly, whether you mean it or not. Continue to say it. Let followers hear. You understand? Let the people hear and know that you are not in support of violence, and that nobody should die. Because indeed, if they die, how will you benefit them? If they die for your sake, how will you benefit them? Of what benefit will you be to them after they're dead? The big men don't die. Many of them have bought tickets already. They have their visas, and they're ready to flee at the drop of a hat, unfortunately. So the people that are going to die are just the common people. The ordinary streets have folks on the streets. And these are the people that need to live more. You know, they have not enjoyed life. And their tomorrow may be better. Why should they die on account of one worthless politician who will not even remember their family after their long death?
Let's also talk about, quickly, the peace deal signed by the president, the PDP, and of course, the opposition party, Muhammadu Buhari. What is your take on that? Because even APC has come out to say, okay, I hope the president is not signing this peace deal just to bite the heart of Nigerians and pull up. I hope it is not political.
He doesn't need to.
What is your take on that?
No, he doesn't need to. He has been mouthing the deal well ahead. So what are we talking about? He has been mouthing it all along. We know his stand. So he couldn't have been doing it because he wants popularity. No. He has been saying it long before now, not today. He's not a violent man, at least from what he says and from his body language. He has never encouraged violence. He has never encouraged anybody to go and die for him. So, you know, that statement doesn't hold water at all. If anything, that is necessary to make sure that other parties are committed to the same thing he's been talking about. You know, so that's my take.
There are also concerns within Nigerians and within the polity as it is now that most of the campaigns we've been seeing from the PDP and from the political parties, it's personality-based instead of issue-based. Do you think it should have been more of issue-based than what it is now? What would you want to see in most of our campaigns across the station?
Ideally, it should be about issues. But the situation is not ideal here because one, there are no ideologies to really propagate. What you find is that across both parties is the same set of people moving from one party to the other. So there are no ideologies, there are no issues. This is the same thing we hear every day. I'll build bridges, I'll
is that healthy?
Shelter.
Is that really healthy?
I'll come to that. You know, so that's what you find across the divide. And the reason you find personality attacks now is that for so long, the president has suffered attacks, you know, from the opposition. They have called him all sorts of names, abused him, abused his personality, abused his family and everything. They have run him down in every way possible, dragged him in the mud. The entire office has been dragged in the mud. without regard for that office at all. And then for once, the opposition has a candidate. And so the supporters of the president, naturally, you know, because unfortunately it's politicking, even in this part, and it happens everywhere. You will recall that.
But again, people will say, okay, he's the president.
Just a minute.
You expect
no, you cannot keep attacking a man and say, don't talk. You tie my hands and say, don't talk because I occupy an office. He doesn't need to talk. He has followers. And so the followers will do the talking. That's why you find that. What you find is across both sides. You know, they're both attacking each other. What happens is when the president brings up an issue, the other party will hack. You know, just pull down everything he says. And this, when the opposition leader brings up issues, the others will hack it as well. And that's what's been happening. So they attack. Whatever issues PDP brings up, APC will pull down. They will attack, they will destroy. When APC brings up, PDP will attack, they will destroy. And then from there they get into personality, they will begin to talk about the body language of the person, begin to talk about his character and things. So unfortunately, things have, you know, things have degenerated to that level.
But is it healthy now? Is it now healthy? With this level of attack of personalities during campaign,
it's not healthy,
what
but
does it show ahead of the election?
It's not healthy, but it cannot be held because along the presidency of the current president, we have brought the president down to the gutter. That office has it is no longer revered. The office of the presidency has been rubbished by the opposition. And because of that, you cannot talk about issues anymore. You know, if you live in glass houses, you cannot throw stones. Because if you throw it, when you enter the glass house, the same thing will happen to you. Unfortunately, the kind of, how do I put it now, opposition politics we have here has not helped matters. Because if you leave the personality and concentrate on issues and just address issues, you know, it will be healthy. And then we will do it like that. We need to mature to that point. We're not there yet. Let's not deceive ourselves. Hopefully, we'll graduate to that level.
But I was going to ask you, when exactly do we get it's a nation like Nigeria? Oh, more than 54, 53, more than 53, 54 years, going to 55, going to 55, and then we're still not there. So I think we'll talk about that when we come back from this break. Let's quickly take a short break. And again, when we come back from this break, of course, the phone line will be open. You can call in to make a contribution. Victor High is still in the house, a public affairs analyst. We'll be back after this time out.
Has it been a difficult task for you to purchase exquisite, classic, durable and sturdy furniture that will last the test of time? Here is good news for you. Purchase high-quality furniture for your household, offices, hotels and schools at Prince Interior Furnishing and Furniture Company Limited. Office address, Goshen Plaza, Showroom 28, Kubo Furniture Market, AYA, Nyanya Road, Abuja. Telephone 0803 119 1444 or 09291 7482. Email princeemeka240@yahoo.com. info@princeinterior.com. Website www.princeinterior.com. Purchase your furniture at Prince Interior Furnishing and Furniture Company Limited. Classic, strong, exquisite.
Glad to have you back now. It's called RGS Extra, and the discussion is getting interesting here. Victor High, a public affairs analyst. Thank you for being there. And now let's talk about, you know, of course, we're talking about opposition attacking the ruling party. Isn't that a normal political setting?
No, that's normal.
Okay.
It's the personality I'm talking about in the office. Okay. You know, it's not, I mean, there's a way you do it, and you can separate the two. But when you begin to make caricature of the president's family, you know, his wife, begin to call your president clueless, you know, begin to make caricature of the office, the revered office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then to me that is as low can get in politicking. But you can look at issues and say, look, you know, you talk about agriculture, you say, look, you treat agriculture and say, no, you debunk. Bring facts, bring figures, and debunk it. If he talks about railway, you bring facts, bring figures, debunk it. You talk about whatever, or if it's the security issues, you bring facts and debunk it. But when you leave it and then you begin to go, then don't expect to have peace when it is your turn. You understand what I'm saying? And that is what is happening now. You understand? Because for once, those on the side of the ruling party also have a punching bag, somebody they can throw jibes at. So that's what's happening across board.
Okay. Now, of course, we still have less than 27 days to the election, presidential election, 14th of February. And we see a lot of campaigns going on. Yesterday, of course, the All Progressive Congress candidate, Muhammadu Buhari, and his running mate, Yemi Osinbajo, they were in Kogi and Benue State, while the president was in Abia and Ebonyi State. I listened to some of their, issues, raise support for youth and all of that. Now, what exactly do you pick out? Can you pick out from these two political parties in their campaign? Let's look at them critically. How you assess the level of their campaign so far in some of the issues they are raising in their campaign?
Well, the AP is hinging is on a tripod. They talk about corruption, they talk about security, and they talk about
I think it's
change as a central theme, but you have corruption, security,
and youth, right?
No, APC is not talking about youth.
Okay.
It will even work against them.
Okay.
But the presidency is talking about, the ruling party is talking about transformation, talking about continuity and consolidation of what they have done already. But also they're laying emphasis on youth empowerment and
okay, I think Muhammadu Buhari is talking about security, employment, and corruption. These are some three things he's talking about. Yes. And the PDP, they are talking about youth and women, focusing youth and women, and also creating jobs as well. Now, what other things would you have seen these two political parties focus on that they are not really putting their attention on?
What I really want to see is tangible solutions.
Okay.
Not when you talk about security, you speak vaguely and say, when I get there, it will end. That's not, you're not telling me anything. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. How are you going to end it? And what effort are you making presently? Because you see, where you want to get to, you may not even get there. You understand? If there's no Nigeria, who are you going to rule? What are you going to do? Before you get there, how many more need to die? I want to use that as an example, for instance.
Okay.
So, and if you're talking about job creation, how do you plan to create the jobs? Say it. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't win, let the next person come in to use it for the benefit of Nigerians. But when you speak in very vague terms and you're not being, you're not telling me specifically how you plan to go about in concrete terms. If I were to attend an interview with you and as an employer, and I'm saying, let me use pidgin English, ago, how you want to take Duam? Say, when I get there, don't worry, when I get there, I'll know what to do. I mean, obviously, when they're employed.
Is that really not an issue, really? Because as it is, if you cannot tell me you want to give me employment, you want to,
how is the question?
you want to
Let's begin to
bring about security.
I told you earlier, I spoke about
isn't that an issue?
The cliche. We're already tired of hearing. It's the same thing, election year after election year after election.
Doesn't it boil down to the fact that most political parties really do not have a clear-cut ideology?
I don't like using that big word, ideology.
well, because...
I would rather use the word vision.
Okay, all right.
Not ideology. What vision do you have? How well articulated is that vision? You understand what I'm saying? And sell the vision to me. Let me buy into it so I can run with it. You understand what I'm saying? But if you just come and you're mouthing, slogans, sloganeering. It doesn't, I mean, for me, it doesn't hold water. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, finally, just before we round up, let's look at, of course, everybody is going to come out by 31. That's when the collection of PVC is going to end. Now, where is the place of Nigeria, of Nigerians in this? What role should a Nigerian play in determining what happened on 14th February?
First, don't sit at home and be whining or complaining about INEC. Go to INEC's office, be patient, follow due process, and get your PVC to start with. After you've gotten it, on the day, go out there and vote. If you have a candidate that you truly support, speak to people around you. Try and persuade them. Gently, without any any rancor. If they buy into it, fine. If they don't, no problem. You have one vote. Each person has a vote. Go there and use it. And finally, I think people should realize that, you know, the fact that, I mean, the tongue and the teeth are said to be in one mouth and they coexist together. It's not as if they cannot fight each other, you know. The level of intolerance, especially in social media, is unbecoming. We're hitting up the polity. If I make a post, if you support it, if you don't support it, make your own post.
All right.
Don't come attacking me. And let's stop, you know, attacking each other and all that. The fact that we don't agree
can you really
today,
stop that?
No, let me say something. The fact that we don't agree today does not mean we may not agree tomorrow. As you have seen, strange bedfellows coming together in the political space. We see that every day. People were in the opposing parties in 2011 and now in the same party. So if you died because of any of them, how will you be feeling now in heaven? Will you not be feeling shortchanged? So let's just know that these things are transitional. Where I stand today, I may change tomorrow. Where I stand tomorrow, it may change, maybe for one reason or the other. And so let's stop attacking each other. We are Nigerians. Let's love each other. Let's be united. Let's just know that the anger or the way we feel is just because we are passionate about Nigeria. But the passion should not make us kill each other. It's not worth it.
And more importantly, of course, you cannot lose your life or give your life to one politician probably that just want to give you just small money and then
It looks like there's a phone call. Somebody's calling.
Okay, hello. Hello, Benjamin calling from Benin. As we round up now, go ahead and make your contribution quickly.
Yes. Yes, I'm listening to your... Yes, I can listen to every of the man that the incident. Please, I want to ask the question.
Okay, go ahead, Benjamin, quickly.
Yeah, I want to ask a question, please.
Go ahead.
All right. If somebody is putting on a program or a kind of a program to putting on a program that at the end of the day, if he win an election, then this is what he's going to do. It can't be a consultant to other ruling parties for him to unveil of what is going to, how he's going to go about it. So when you are in a position, it is there where you can now say, this is how you are going to go about the program. It is not for you to unveil to your opponent on what you are going to do. So it's a secret of his own administration when it gets to power.
Okay.
For you to say, now be revealing how he's going to, what he's going to do when he gets to power, it's not necessary. What is important is that he has an agenda for him to execute when he goes to power. That is what is important to us.
Okay. Thank you very much, Benjamin from Benin. He's saying that it doesn't matter. Of course, when he gets there, he can.
I think it matters to me as an individual. You can't keep telling me the same thing politicians have been telling me since I was born. I will give you bridge. How do you want to do it? Where is the money coming from? How do you plan to raise the fund? How do you plan to... Because we hear the same story all the time. When you say you are keeping it secret, that means if you don't get into power, and the country can spoil. I mean, can degenerate. You are not being a patriot. You understand? The details, the core details we may not have. But convince me about how you're going to do it. Don't speak in vague terms. and you say, I have a secret, my secret weapon. It's not two companies that you say, okay, I have a secret formula. They are all coming to rule the same geographical space. And so, if you have something, convince us with it, and don't say, oh, when I get there, I will do it. That's the reason why people find it difficult to trust politicians, because you have nothing to hold them to.
Well, thank you very much. On that note, we will have to round up this segment right now. Thank you very much, Victor Ohai, as a public affairs analyst, and he's been so fantastic anytime we put a call through. Well, that's where we'll wrap it up today for this segment, rather, on Call Digest Extra. Make sure that you go out there and get your PVCs, because you have the power to determine what happened in the coming polls. Well, we'll take a break now. I'll be back. When we come back, it will be Business Roundoff with Savannah Isoko. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.